serious these charges is, but I really need you to recognize when you get home, you need to get an attorney. I'll never forget him for saying that to me. And I remember that long walk, man, and that whole process of walking at, I was they had me in Rockville, Maryland, and I remember I was walking in this long path. I ain't had no cell phone, I had no money, I had nothing. Got to the end of it, and it started walking. It was like a strip mall. It was just this cab. The cab just was sitting there. So I walk over to the cab, and I don't remember telling him where I lived at or nothing because I was exhausted. Next thing I know, he woke me up and was like, young man, you home. I looked up like, damn, I'm really home. Mm-hmm. I get out the car. I said, hold on, give me a second. I'm going to run in the house and get some money. He said, all right. I got out the car, and as soon as I walked off from the car, he pulls off. Boom. It's like, what? This is crazy. Get up the next day, start looking for an attorney. I find this attorney. Me and him start talking on the phone. He from Chestnut Hill. You from where? You ain't from Philly, man. Get out of here. He said, no, I'm from Philly. Well, whatever, man. I get in there. We start talking. He knew all the areas at home and everything. I'm like, what? He said, listen, you from Philly, I got you. I ain't going to charge you what I normally charge you. So I'm going to charge you half of what I normally charge. Really? He said, yeah, because you from home. White dude. I said, oh, okay. Like, I mean, this is how this thing, like good luck. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, how this thing played out for me was just like, it was nothing but God, man. Nothing but
blame.
What? Nothing but God, man. And then, you know, I did that and to show up in court that day, and I remember the judge was like, no, how much did he have on him? No, we're not going. And then my attorney stood up, was like, listen, Jan, he was like, he's never been in trouble. He just made a stupid mistake. This is his first time. He's a working man. He was college educated. He put it on. Judge is like, listen, if you ever get back in front of me for anything, whatever we was going to give you and whatever you're going to get, you're going to serve all of it. That's what he said to me. I'll never forget that. I'm sitting there like, okay. So it was like, all right. And then my attorney was like, well, once he serves his 2 years, can we get it expunged? The judge was like, all right, go ahead. Then my parole officer was this black lady named Miss Davis. So I go to see her. And when you get on parole, they supposed to come out to your house, check your house out, check the area out and everything. She's like, listen, long as your piss come back clean every time you come in here, you ain't got no problems with me. I only saw her one time. I never saw her again.
Wow.
When I tell you the way everything worked, and I still was working at Enterprise rental car right here on Georgia Avenue, like everything just kind of worked out for me, man. And I'm just like, man, like God was working on my behalf, man. You can't nobody tell me there ain't a higher power. You can't nobody.
Nah, when I was reading that part, like the way, I don't want to give everybody the whole tape of the book, because you gotta buy the book. The book is out of control. So, but when I was reading it and how it played out, I'm like, okay, you made the run, you got back, everything seems sweet, and on a humble. But that is, you know what I'm saying? Karma works in strange ass ways, right? Karma works in strange ways, because for you to move it, you got to take a sip on that. Because for you to move the pack, and then the way that played out for how you got popped, that was crazy. That was crazy. You know what I wanted to add when I read it? What happened with your man? Because he. So listen. I want to know that story.
So let me tell you, all these years, right? I was talking to a friend of mine, and she said the same thing. She said, what happened to your man? She said, it's weird because he never came back in the house.
Yeah, he never came back.
He never came back in the house, and you never heard from him again. And I said, I never thought about it. So I'm like, did he snitch on me?
Yo, that's what I was wondering.
Which I don't know. He might have. I don't know. But, like, I never thought about it from that perspective.
Because the crazy thing was, to me, was he showed, like, he dips, and then 5-0 at your door.
Crazy.
And now you got a whole raid. And he was gone.
And never heard from him.
You never heard from him again?
Never came back in the crib to check on me. Never called to check on me, see if I was okay. Nothing. Never that. And it was funny because I never thought about it. And he was from home.
I'm going to tell you right now, your man was...
Yeah, he ran it.
He was an informant.
Yeah.
He was a rat.
Oh.
He was
I can
a
deal
rat.
with the snakes.
Yo, he was a rat.
I can't deal with
Because
rats.
the whole time I'm thinking like, he dips and says he's going out. Like, y'all gotta read the book, man. I'm not gonna give it up. But that's what I was wondering. I was like, yo, so what happened with your man? Like,
Real
he never,
rat.
what happened? He disappeared. You ain't never heard from him again?
Nope. And I never
he was
thought
a
about
rat.
that, dog. I never thought about it till after the fact. Like, yo, did he
Yeah.
write on me? Because I never heard from him again. And the cop knocked at the door because the cop was like, yeah, your neighbor said you was playing the music too loud. I'm like, the music wasn't even really loud, so why? And he never came back in the house. None of that, dog. None of that. It was weird. Yeah, you right. And I thought about it after the fact.
Yeah. That was, yeah, he was a little informant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you here though.
I'm
so
here,
you
man.
blessed. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
He
here.
not, because he got to live with that on his conscience for the
Man,
rest of his
listen.
life. So, you know, Effie. But, we almost at the end of the book.
Even
The last, go ahead, Chad.
Man, I just keep looking at this fear, man. Fear of becoming a man. Like fear. Like that's what's grabbing my attention is the fear part.
So here's the thing. We fear responsibility. We fear standing in our purpose. We fear accepting those things that we don't understand. We fear legacy, right? Which to me is critical, because legacy is everything. So we fear legacy, and when you put all those things together, we fear becoming what a man is. Responsibility is a part of being a man. Building a legacy is part of being a man. Standing out on our own responsibilities, our faults, our truths, is a part of becoming a man. And so when you don't have anyone showing you what that looks like or painting that blueprint for you, now it's to figure it out. So what we do, we go in the streets and try to figure it out, right? We're looking at everything else but what it is. So, because one thing I've learned is it's easy to not do. It's easy to fail. Failing takes no effort, right? But to actually become a man takes effort. You sitting here because you took the opportunity to become a man, right? And it wasn't easy, right? For me, I had a father that was around that wasn't present. I had a rack of uncles, right? But I still had to figure it out why. You know what I'm saying? Why? I saw what drugs do. All my uncles did drugs. Some uncles sold drugs. Some was on drugs. I seen all that. I saw my uncle who used to play craps all the time. He used to have like he used to have like 50 different pairs of dice in his room all the time. I brought my father's brother. All that. And no one ever sat us down and said, listen, this thing of becoming a man, let alone a black man, takes work.
One thing I liked, I'm going to read this passage that you have, and then there's another thing I want to talk about that you emphasize, which Shay and I talk about a lot on the show and when we're off air. You said, one thing for sure I'm learning is that manhood has nothing to do with having all the answers or aggressive attitude, nor defining oneself by society's definition. But manhood is the willingness to learn from your mistakes, willingness to admit you're wrong, and being open to love hard while standing for something that has meaning and purpose to you as a man. I thought that was like, that's an amazing quote that I'm going to have to put on my refrigerator. And my refrigerator don't get too many quotes.
Hey, and I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? I got one from B. Hopper said, how you fight like a hungry man when your refrigerator is full. Like that. That was about Floyd Mayweather. But you talked a lot about putting your pride to the side.
Yeah, because I think that our bravado that we've learned to take on and this pride thing hurts us in the long run. And I think that as men, one of the things we got to understand is being able to decipher when to let pride play the back burner and be humble. Humble thyself. And when you humble thyself, you know thyself, right? And so to know thyself is to know when I need to turn my pride down and turn my humbleness up. Even with this thing with me, with the speaking and me trying to build this platform to become an international speaker and best-selling author and all that, and people give me some accolades, and I feel like I haven't really done anything yet. They're like, but for me, it's like you always got to stay humble because there's always room to grow. No one gets it perfect. No one has all the answers. No one has all the moves. We all learn by by chance, right?
Right.
Failure is the key to success. You fall on your face, and very few can stand up. And those of us that can stand up can say that we learned from it. But it's easy to fail and cop out and say got tapped out. But to stand up is to say, all right, I took that L. Now what? I'm gonna take another one, but I learned from that. My marriage, I know that if I decide to get married again, everything that I did wrong in that thing is what I'm gonna do right in the next one, right? But I had to fail that to understand it. And the crazy part about it is me and my ex-wife got the best relationship now. We cool as a block of ice.
What you think you did wrong?
One of the things I think I did wrong was I didn't allow myself to understand my wife's takes on things, to understand that we came from two different things. I'm from Philly. I'm from the hood. I'm from a major city. She's from Richmond, Virginia. It's Richmond, Virginia. She grew up with her mom and then her dad, and she came from a 2-parent household. She had a different take on things that I didn't, and I also learned that love. You can't win everything on love. Love is a fleeting emotion. But when you have a real friendship with your woman, it makes the love more intense.